It is 4 o'clock on June 2nd, 2021. I call this meeting to order. Barb, please call the roll.
Shannon Baranik,
Here.
Rich Searles,
Here.
we have a quorum.
For the minutes for the next thing.
I can do that if you want me to. I have the minutes from the March 3rd meeting. And if you've had a chance to look through them, we need a motion to approve.
I move to approve.
I'll second.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That meeting minutes are approved.
What do we put next?
Public input. The only thing that I have for public input is Charlie Smythe has submitted a letter from Champaign County Bikes about the installation of signage that state law that motorists must give bicyclists 3-foot minimum clearance. So I will include that with the minutes for this meeting. And there is no unfinished business, and next is new business.
All right. The new business, since the first 4 things are all the same, does anyone object if I talk about them all at once?
I do not.
You're not either. That makes 2.
So it's approved.
All right. I'm going to share my screen here as soon as I figure out how to do this. It is. All right. There's a lovely title slide for June Traffic Commission. First item is the traffic control devices at Lexington Drive, Vernon Drive, Horizon Lane, and Hillshire Drive, all along Myra Ridge. All of them have the same reasoning behind them. That's why I lumped them together. Currently, all 4 intersections have no stop or yield control. And since it's a newer subdivision, we typically wait to see which street ends up being the major street. In this case, it's Myra Ridge. Just by default, it goes pretty much all the way straight through. It's also a bus route. And nothing south of Trails connects to Philo Road. So Myra is the major street by default. Section 2B.04 of the MUTCD establishes when to install stop signs. I'm not going to read through all criteria. I've posted them here for the record. A and B apply. Intersection of less important road where the main road application of the normal right-of-way rule, which would not be expected to provide reasonable compliance with the law. That's actually what I ran into today when I had a motorist pull out in front of me. The right-of-way was not being followed. I was in the intersection. He should have yielded to me. And then B also applies a street entering a designated through highway or street. Myra Ridge is the through street, so the stop control must be on the minor side. C does not apply to this situation. All right, so my recommendations are stop signs be installed on Lexington, Vernon, Horizon, and Hillshire as they approach Myra. Lexington and Vernon will only have 1 stop sign as there are 2 intersections. Horizon will have 2 as it's a 4-way. Hillshire will currently only have 1 until they build out the second side. And right now I'm just throwing out this going to have 2 because that way we don't have to revisit this. For representation, these little red dots are where stop signs will be installed upon approval by City Council. Try to approve it here. And are there any questions?
So the traffic concern that I'm looking at also includes Trails Drive. And I don't see Trails on the list. Trails is a 2-way stop at a 4-way intersection.
Yes, but Myra is the stop.
Correct. So are we going to address the Trails request separately, or is that going to be included in this request?
That is mostly due to that tree, so it's a wait and see. There's no traffic collisions, there's no traffic volume, nothing warrants adding a 4-way to that one.
Okay, I guess my question is, were we going to create a record for a recommendation there, or is that part of another conversation?
That will be part of another conversation after a wait and see.
Okay.
Could I interject something? Usually we had as a policy that if we had reviewed something within the last 5 years, unless something changed, like, you know, the number of accidents or,
New houses.
yeah, something is built that is closer to the street, that we usually don't revisit it. And it was, I can't remember what year, but it was within the last 5 years that the Traffic Commission reviewed that and recommended that the configuration remain the way that it is, with the stop being on Myra Ridge or trails.
Okay, and just to sort of flesh out the conversation, I pulled accident data for that area, and I did not find any accidents related to the intersections at any of those locations in the last, I believe this is 3 years.
Yeah, I couldn't find anything as well when I looked in LexisNexis after Matt unlocked my account because I locked myself out. So, it was, right now, I mean, as you can see in my little drawing, there's very few houses currently out there. So it may be something we're gonna revisit anyway because they build up this end. Like Hillshire currently doesn't even exist, which is gonna be part of our next topic. So, and then we'll also have to revisit what's along the west side here, for future stop signs, but there's not enough houses to warrant it yet. So,
Okay, that's all I had. Thank you.
do I make a motion to approve my stop signs?
Someone needs to make a motion.
I make a motion to approve the first 4 agenda items to have the stop signs installed as recommended and advance this to City Council Committee of the Whole.
I'll second that.
All those in favor? Oh, wait, I gotta do a roll call. Shannon Brannick,
Yes,
Rich Searles,
Yes.
that motion is approved. I didn't do that on the approval of
that's
the
okay.
minutes.
Two eyes are easy to count. So,
Okay.
on our next thing is parking restrictions for a street that currently does not actually exist, but has actually already gone to City Council for approval of its plat and subdivision. In that, what went to City Council, part of the special use permit granted to South Ridge 8 was the street of Hillshire is only 28 feet wide, which is narrower than typical. And in doing so, Urbana Fire brought up the concern that if it's parking on both sides, they won't be able to get fire apparatus around the corner because Hillshire is not going to connect to Philo and will have a tight turn. So it was decided to preemptively remove all street parking on the north side of Hillshire once it is built. So I have a little map for that. This is Myra Ridge over here. This is Hillshire. It's going to stub before it ever hits Philo. There's currently no plan to make it connect to Philo. So Fire was concerned about making this turn with street parking on both sides and not being able to do it. So the yellow line is the proposed no parking. Any questions?
None.
I make a motion to approve no parking on the north side of Hillshire between Myra Ridge and Melissa Lane. And move on to City Council Committee of the Whole. There we go.
I'll second that motion.
We'll do a roll call vote. Shannon Brannick,
Yes.
Searles,
Yes.
that motion passed.
And that is all for the agenda items. Do we have anything?
So would anyone want to entertain a motion to adjourn?
I motion we adjourn.
I will second that.
Okay, so I need to do a roll call for that. I will.
Probably.
Shannon Brannick
Yes.
and Rich Searles,
Yes.
thank you both.
And that is everything.